it's Nelly. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing a foundation review video, and I am going to be, oh, and a primer. Can't forget the primer. Today I am going to be reviewing the Physicans Formula The Healthy Foundation, as well as the Physicans Formula Spotlight Illuminating Primer. I picked these up. I went to Walgreens looking for some magazines to do my vision board, and I saw them and I'm like, oh my god, I haven't seen anybody talked about them, at least not in my YouTube feed, not everybody that I'm subscribed to. Don't feel like anybody has talked about these. If they have, I might have missed it, but that's not the point. Today I am going to be reviewing them and telling you guys how I like it, if it works, if it doesn't work. So let's see what it's all about. The foundation comes in 16 different shades, and it ranges from the lightest shade to their darkest shade. It retails for $14.95, which is a little bit higher for the drugstore, but I feel like Physicans Formula has always been one of the higher end priced items at the drugstore, and it is $14.95. I think I already said that, but I found mine at Walgreens, and Walgreens, for both of the items, they both came with a $3 off coupon code, like on the cap, that you can redeem at checkout. I'm not sure if all of the bottles came with that, but I know that Walgreens does have like a little sticker on the cap. You can kind of see where I removed it there. It has a little sticker that has $3 off, and you can like have the girl, when you're checking out, take it off and scan it, and you do get $3 off. And that came for both of them. So both of them did have $3 off at Walgreens. I'm not sure anywhere else, but I know that Walgreens does have $3 off. So it says it's a long-wearing, buildable, and breathable foundation that provides lightweight, medium to full coverage with a healthy satin finish. So it's not supposed to be a mattifying foundation, and it says it's a lightweight, so you're not supposed to feel it, and it's going to be medium to full coverage. So let's see how good that is. It says it's compatible with all skin types, and featuring an exclusive brightening complex and hyaluronic acid to hydrate, brighten, and improve the appearance of skin tone. Added boost of vitamins A, C, and E provides a flawless, healthy coverage. So excited about that. So the color that I picked up is MW2, which is supposed to be medium warm 2. This is the first shade of the medium tones. I think before this comes like lights and all that. So this is the first medium shade, and I do see it a little bit dark, but hopefully it works out. So talking about the primer. So the primer is supposed to be an illuminating primer. It says it's infused with 5 filtering luminescent pearls to blur imperfections and deliver a spotlight glow, enriched with antioxidants, and it perfects for skin and visibly reduces redness. So I have a little bit of redness going on around my nose. I also have a huge pimple right here. So I'm excited to have some redness red over here. So you are supposed to blend this in with your fingertips. So that is kind of like a little overview on the products. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom you guys in, and we are going to get started. Alrighty, so I zoomed you guys in just a little bit closer so that you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. We are going to start off with primer. This is what the primer looks like. It's a beautiful bottle. It has a faded ombre pink cap. Can you see? Just for poops and giggles, pretty much, I pulled out my Becca Backlight Priming Filter, and this is the Physicans one, and you can see that they're pretty similar. The Physicans Formula Primer retails for $14.95, and it has 1 fluid ounce, and the Becca Backlight Primer, I think it retails for like $30 something, and this one has 1 fluid ounce as well. So they're very, very similar. Okay, so this one right here is the Becca one. So let's move that one down. That's the Becca. And then this one is the Physicans Formula, which is a little bit more pearly. So Becca is right here, Physicans Formula is right here. Honestly, they look pretty similar. So that's a little comparison. I didn't mean to do that, but I don't know, it's nice to see because it's a huge price difference. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna go ahead and pump some into my hands. I'm gonna start off with 1.5 pumps, which that's how much it pumps, and it does have a pump, which is really, really nice. So I took about a pump and a half. I'm gonna rub it in between my hands and then we are going to apply. So it does illuminate a lot, but I'm curious to see. I knew that it was going to be illuminating because I saw it in the pigment, but I'm curious to see. You guys, this smells just like the Becca one. It smells very similar to the one from Becca. It smells really good. It smells very kind of like beachy, sunscreenish, like a little bit of sunscreen, but it smells very similar to the one from Becca. Now, I do have to say that it did do a good job blurring out the pores. It didn't completely blur them out, but it did blur some of it out, which it's good because for you to find an illuminating primer that blurs a little bit, kind of hard. I do have to say that there is a shimmer to my skin. It looks like I applied a liquid highlight. It's like a faint shimmer, but it is there. Left the shimmer behind on my hands, so it did stick. Can you see that? How I have some shimmer all over my fingers. So I personally would prefer to apply it with the beauty blender instead of my hand. So I realized that I was not recording and I have been talking for the past, I don't know, 20 minutes. So I'm going to walk you through what I did. It wasn't much. So you guys saw that I applied the primer and then I went in and I applied the foundation. So this side of my face, I used a brush. I used the Morphe E44 brush. And then on this side of my face, I used my Real Techniques sponge. I thought the foundation was gonna be a pump, but it's not a pump. It's actually an applicator. It reminds me a lot of the Shape Tape applicator. It's big and fluffy. So the only thing that I did, nothing crazy, is I just drew 2 lines, which you see now because I'm gonna apply a second layer. I drew lines and I blended them in. I used, like I said, this side with the brush, this side with the sponge, and this is 1 layer of the foundation. So that's all I did so far, and I love the foundation. Like, I do really like it. I have 1 layer on. It feels so lightweight. It feels nice and soft. It's not caking up around my nose so far, which that's a really big deal for me. It looks beautiful. It has a nice satin finish. It's not matte. We also have an illuminating primer underneath, but it just looks so pretty, and I can't pick which side is my favorite because they both look so good. It did do a really good job at making my skin just overall one color, but there's still certain areas that definitely need a lot more coverage in order to get a full coverage. So I'm gonna go in and I'm going to apply some more. And this is exactly what I did the first time. I just drew some lines. I'm just gonna go in with the beauty blender because it's a little faster and just blend it in. So that is 2 layers of the foundation, and it does layer really nice. It doesn't look cakey. It looks nice and healthy. It doesn't look like you're wearing too much makeup. It has a nice dew underneath. Like, I really do like it. Again, I'm not getting a ton of coverage in the blemishes, so I'm gonna go in just with a tiny bit more, just on those specific areas that I have certain blemishes. So I'm just gonna go in and lightly tap over them to see if we can get some coverage there. So I went ahead and I finished the rest of my face, and this is what it's looking like so far. I do have to say that everything did blend out just fine. It looks great. It is kind of sort of settling into my fine lines just a little bit, especially right here in between the brows, but nothing too crazy. I do have to think it's the primer as well. I think that for this foundation, I would definitely use something that's a little bit more pore, fine line minimizing. I don't think the primer did a good job at that, but we'll talk about that at the end of the video. But anyways, I do think it looks really good. My blush, my highlight, everything looks nice. I'm gonna go about my day, and then I will be back throughout the day just to kind of check in and, you know, see how the foundation is holding up. So like I said, it's 12:20 now. You can see, 12:20, 12:20, 12:21. So I'm gonna go ahead and go over my day, and then I will check back in just a little bit. So I'll see you guys later. Okay, you guys, so doing a little checkup on my foundation. So I just finished filming my beauty favorites, which by the time this video goes up, the beauty favorites has already been up, and most of you guys have probably already seen it, hopefully. But it is currently 2:44. The last check-in I did was at 12:20, so it's been 12:12. So it's only been about, well, I started filming the video at 10. I finished like around 10:30ish, so 11:10, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30. Okay, so it's been about 4 hours since I've had the foundation on, and this is so far what it's looking like. It does look, it is settling into my fine lines that I didn't even know I had. Looking at it closely, I have it settling right here into a smile line, which I've never had a smile line problem with the foundation before, so that's kind of weird. Around my nose still looks pretty good. In between my brows, it is settling again into my fine lines, but other than that, it's looking really good. It's just, again, it's settling into my smile lines here, which I've never had that problem with the foundation before. So yeah, so I am going to start editing my, what was I gonna edit? I'm going to start editing my beauty favorites. I'm also going to go have lunch. I have a couple errands to run as well. I have to go to the drugstore to pick some stuff up. So yeah, I'm gonna check back in a couple hours, like later in the afternoon, to see how it's holding up. I am so sore. Okay, so it is the end of the night. The lashes have officially come off, and I look like a hot mess, ready to go to sleep. First, I need to shower, of course. I have changed my clothes today, no lie, 4 times. It's been one of those days. But looking at my skin, by the way, it is 10:04. I applied the foundation exactly around this time. By the time that I started filming this morning, it was around 10:15. By the time that the foundation was on, it was around 10:30. So it's been almost 12 hours since I have had the foundation on my skin. By the way, if you hear that, that's Lawrence washing his hands in the sink. Okay, so looking at my skin closer, my skin does look a little cakey. It looks like it's been worn for 12 hours. It's still there, which is really nice. Like my cheeks, this area right here looks really nice. It looks like if I had just applied the foundation, it doesn't look too bad. But around my nose, it looks super cakey, and it's like completely just creasy and gross. In my nose is also kind of wiped off, but I mean, it's been 12 hours. And in between my brows, I have the creasing, which I had that pretty early on when I applied the foundation. So that's nothing too crazy, but around my nose, it's definitely where it looks the worst. It's usually my problematic area, like usually around my nose, that's where the foundation tends to break up the most. So it definitely is breaking up there. The chin looks a little cakey. The upper mouth is completely gone, but that's because I had dinner and I wiped it off. My under eyes are a little cakey. It just looks a little heavy. You know, it looks like I have been wearing it for a long time, which I have. Typically, I don't wear my foundations for this long. Overall, I do really like the foundation. I think it's one of those foundations that I will definitely reach for again on the days that I want a more medium coverage, on the days that I want my skin to look a little bit more like skin, to look a little bit softer. I would wear this. One thing that I have to say that I don't like about the foundation is how it kind of creased around some fine lines that I didn't even know I had. Okay, so as far as the primer goes, I love the packaging. It's absolutely beautiful. One thing that I didn't like was how tacky it left my hands. Literally all of the shimmer transferred to my hands, and I washed my hands a couple times and I can still see the shimmer. So I didn't like how shimmery it was. It did do a good job at illuminating my skin, but I just didn't like how shimmery it was. After I applied it and after I saw it on my hand, I really didn't like how shimmery it looked. So yeah, it's something that, will I use it again? Most probably I would when I do drugstore tutorials and stuff like that. But would I use this on like an everyday basis? Probably not, because of how shimmery it was, and it just left my hands so tacky, and it was just too shimmery for my opinion. And it did do a good job at blurring the pores, but it didn't blur them all that good. Like my pores were still visible. So yeah, it's a decent primer. It's nothing out of this world you need to have, but it's a decent primer, and I did like it. I just don't love it. The foundation I did really love. So I think that covers it all. So that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy. I love you. Please don't forget to subscribe before you go. Hit the like button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to get notified every single time I upload a new video. So yeah, it's time for bed, and actually it's time for the shower. So I love you, and I will see you soon. Mwah.